Peace and love, everyone. Thank you for being here. And Kristen, it's colder in Kentucky than it is here on the coast of Maine today. Right now it's 19 degrees. I don't know what the feels like is, but it's not windy. Well, not windy at my house. I can hear the ocean. Maybe you can hear the ocean out there. And the tick, tick, tick of the birds at the bird feeder. We're going to be using them today if we can in our meditation practice. Thanks for being here live. Thanks for being here by recording. This is part 3. So peace and welcome to our meditation community practice. And this is part 3 of a series called How Meditation Deconstructs Your Mind. Reaching the witness state. This is today. Reaching the witness state or open monitoring meditation. Expanding your awareness. Today's talk is, like the rest in this series, inspired by an essay published in Vox. You can find the link to that essay in the description. This is a little longer than most of my meditation talks because there's a lot more involved here. This whole series, each one of them are a little bit longer than I normally talk. An open monitoring meditation is a transformative practice that builds upon and naturally, and this is important, naturally arises from the foundation of your focused meditation practice, whether it's mantra-based or imagination-based or image-based. And it offers an approach to practicing mindfulness while in practice and you're in your daily life. It kind of cultivates this practice of mindfulness. It doesn't kind of, it does. Now, while focused attention meditation involves concentrating on a single point, a mantra, an imagination, things like that. Our open monitoring broadens our scope of awareness, allowing us, the practitioners, to observe our thoughts, our emotions, and sensations as they arise and pass. This is the non-grasping, open-palmed witness state of mindfulness that Adyashanti talks about. This practice is about being fully present with whatever occurs at the moment in your head, in meditation, without judgment or attachment or any effort to control the experience other than by remaining in the witness state, observing, being the watcher. By cultivating open awareness, open monitoring helps us foster this interior equanimity. It reduces mental reactivity and deepens our self-understanding. And at its core, open monitoring meditation is about letting go of our need to focus on one specific object and instead allowing our attention to be with a natural flow without grasping. And it's similar to watching a river pass by from a riverbank versus actually being immersed in the river and being pulled downstream with the thoughts and the ruminations or the memories of these things that run through our heads. The ruminations. The focus of this particular anchor, and it is an anchor, is much broader than the mantra it leads us to a field of awareness where our mental and physical experiences occur. And it's a shift. It can occur, and it naturally happens if you're focused on your mantra and your breath, and you've been practicing as we have in the kind of the top of your throat, feeling that awareness, that cool space expand with your physical body. This is a natural outgrowth of the singular mind mantra-based meditation, and it is a process, an advancement. If you shift from mantra to body, it's an advancement into the mindfulness state. This field encompasses our emotions, our bodily sensations, the sounds we hear. We're going to use some sound today, and other sensory inputs. And then rather than latching onto or avoiding these experiences, pushing them away, or remember, we don't close the window, we don't close the door as these thoughts run by, we go back to our meditative practice in a very similar fashion as these thoughts and imaginations and emotions go by. Instead of trying to go back to the singular mind space, instead we remain in a watcher state, a non-attached state. The mindfulness practice, the meditation practice of single-minded focusedness naturally teaches. It teaches this witness state just kind of as a background thing that happens. And we, the practitioners, observe our emotions and our memories with curiosity and acceptance, recognizing them as a temporary phenomena and watching them pass by, seeing them pass by. This practice is compared to watching a snow globe settle. And maybe you've heard this about mindfulness. And initially, the mind may feel chaotic and swirling in thoughts and distractions. However, as the snow, like last night, as the snow settles, as the practice deepens, it reveals the stillness and spaciousness of awareness beneath the active mind. And the ability to witness builds upon this non-grasping of thoughts we practice with focused attention, and it naturally arises from this practice. And this happened to one of our group members in the past week, who's been practicing with us for a while with mantra meditation, and then suddenly body awareness kicked in. Didn't mean to have this thing happen. It just does. It arises from the process of the practice. And the power of open-minded monitoring, mindfulness, lies in its ability to reshape our relationship to our thoughts and experiences. Now, and unlike focused attention, which is really important as a practice, as a baseline practice, unlike focused attention, which amplifies a focal point, the mantra, open monitoring, mindfulness, witness state allows attention to move fluidly across whatever arises. This decentralized state reduces the brain's tendency to fixate on particular thoughts or emotions, fostering a more balanced perspective. Observing experiences without judgment or attachment teaches us to let go of our feelings, of our trauma, of our thoughts, and the sensations that arise and naturally pass by. This helps reduce the habitual reactivity that often fuels our stress, the running of the mind into all of these different catastrophizing scenarios, for instance. And it often fuels our stress and our anxiety and overthinking. Open monitoring mindfulness allows us to notice the recurring mental patterns, such as worries and judgments or emotional triggers. This heightened awareness leads to insights in the underlying causes of these thought patterns, granting us increasing freedom from them. Open monitoring is accessible and can be practiced by anyone, regardless of your meditation experience. And you don't have to wait 5 years for it to happen. It could happen tomorrow. It could happen next week. It can just happen as the practice deepens, because you're training your brain through this whole process. This is not magic. This is biology. Now here's the wind out there. Here's a step-by-step guide. Settle. It's very similar to how we begin our regular practice. And I am going to run over a little bit this morning with my talk, as I said. So here's a step-by-step practice. It's a guide. Settle into a comfortable position. My feet are flat on the floor. I'm sitting in a quiet place, and I can turn this up just so you can hear it. I'm going to turn it down. My place is quiet, where I won't be disturbed. I keep my posture upright, yet relaxed, with my hands resting comfortably either in my lap or in this mudra that I like. Begin with a few moments of focused attention. Use your mantra. Use your picture in your head and your breath as you normally do. Start by anchoring your attention with your breath, or this mantra that you use, this chant that you use, and this will serve as a transition to open monitoring. So we begin always with the focused mind. Next, 3, we expand our awareness. Now gradually shift your attention outward from the focal point and notice the full range of experiences occurring at the moment. And it might be a bodily sensation. Maybe your left knee hurts, or maybe it's the sounds outside. There's the wind, or your thoughts, or the emotions that you're feeling. And a place to start might be listening intently to the sounds around you. And the great advantage of listening to the sounds is that they switch all the time. They switch. As sound goes by, it just changes and changes and changes. And that allows us not to grasp to each individual one. You could focus on hearing your breath or on a part of your body, such as the back of your throat, that we've been practicing, or a pain in your thumb. 4, observe without judgment. Observe these thoughts, emotions, feelings, and allow these experiences to come and go without labeling them as bad or good or right or wrong. Don't grab them. Notice them as they are. It's like standing on the riverbank and letting them pass by, watching them go. You're not what's in the river. 5, return to awareness when distracted. Always return to your awareness when you're distracted. This is a baseline for meditation. If you find yourself lost in thought, overly focused on one experience, you're swept down the road. Oh my gosh, that thing that happened. Gently bring back your awareness to the broader field. Get out of the water, stand on the bank, and be aware of the full field of awareness. 6, end with a moment of reflection. End with a moment of reflection. Say that clearly. And before concluding your meditation, take a moment, reflect on the practice, how it made you feel, if it gave you any insights. Mindfulness offers this benefit for all sorts of mental, emotional, and psychological well-being. It's powerful. It can regulate your runaway emotions. By observing emotions without getting swept away by them, we develop this greater capacity to manage stress, anxiety, and emotional challenges. 2, increase our awareness. Open monitoring helps us cultivate an understanding of the brain's habits and patterns, promoting self-awareness and personal growth. You get to see how your brain works. It's often just running and we don't realize what's going on in our heads, telling us who we are. 3, it reduces our reactivity. Observing our thoughts and sensations without judgment reduces the tendency we have to react impulsively, fostering this greater sense of calm and balance. 4, a greater sense of presence. By expanding awareness to the full range of our experiences, open monitoring brings a sense of being fully present in the moment. Mindfulness naturally arises in meditation practice. Foundation of non-dual experience. So the next thing is foundation of non-dual awareness. This is the foundation of it that we're talking about here. But the next thing is this non-dual awareness. We're going to cover that soon. This practice often bridges advanced meditative states, such as this non-dual practice, which we're going to cover Wednesday, by encouraging a deeper connection in the field of awareness itself. An example. Here's an example of practicing open monitoring mindfulness. Here we go. You imagine yourself, you're sitting in a room where you are right now. Your feet are on the floor. You're calmly sitting quietly, and you're going to practice open monitoring mindfulness. So maybe it's the sound outside of the wind and the dripping of the trees, or the tapping of the birds. You're listening to each one as they pass by. Just listening, not grasping. Or maybe it's the gentle sensation of your body in the chair, your bottom of your thighs on the chair bottom and your back against the chair. It's maybe you're just feeling that, or maybe it's a thought about something you need to do later. Here's the thing. You can have a thought about what you're going to do later, but if you grab that thought and hold that thought and try to figure it all out with kind of a forcefulness, you might get caught in it. If you just think about it gently, like a butterfly on your palm, that's okay. And maybe you've got restless leg syndrome and your legs are bouncing all over the place. If you just look at your legs as they bounce with your mind, that's a way to do it too. rather than, but I don't know why I put that one in there, because it's kind of, if your legs are bouncing all over the place, it's kind of hard to be still. But if you do have that and you focus on it, it's an active sort of mindfulness, kind of like walking. So rather than focusing on one thing, single-mindedness, or trying to push things away, you simply notice these experiences as they arise. I love to do this with sound. I do. I love it with sound. I do a lot of sound meditation when I'm outside. You can acknowledge the bird's song, the wind, the sensation of the chair, observe the thoughts and restlessness, and let them all pass by naturally without clinging or resisting them or judging yourself for them. Open monitoring meditation. It's a practice of freedom from the tyranny of your own mind. It invites us to step out of our habitual judgment and reaction and attachment patterns, allowing us to experience life as it happens with greater openness and equanimity. Expanding our awareness to the full spectrum of the present moment of our experiences, well, we develop a deeper understanding of how our mind works. And this practice, as I said, reduces stress, enhances emotional resilience, and prepares the mind for advanced stages of meditation. Each one of these is a step to the next. The next step is non-dual awareness. Open monitoring is a gateway to living more mindfully and living fully in the present moment. And it embraces the richness of life without getting caught in its turbulence. Open monitoring teaches us that the mind's natural state, it's like a vast, clear, open sky on a windless day. It's spacious, boundless. You can stand on the ground, and if a cloud comes, you can watch it pass by. With practice, we learn to let the clouds of our thoughts and emotions pass by, revealing this limitless awareness that lies beyond. And this is how meditation heals us. This is the place of the healing. It helps heal us emotionally, psychologically, relationally, and spiritually. This is the power of meditation in your life that is hard to explain when you're just beginning, hard to understand that these things can happen. But as you practice year after year, these things just happen. And suddenly your buttons don't get pushed as easily, because you carry this awareness of all things passing by, non-attachment to the temporality of life. That's my little talk today. I did run way over my normal talk. Let's see. Hey, Octavio. I don't know why I called you that. I'm sorry. Octavio. Hi, Susie. Wendy, Emma in New Zealand. Emma, you win the distance prize. Oh my gosh. You can't get further away from where I live than New Zealand. Oh my gosh. Welcome. Thanks for being here. P.S. Your tips on sweet spot breathing have been a game changer. Nice. Thanks, Wendy. Stillness of awareness. Love it, Kristen. Catherine, relax and release. This is true. Thanks for that brevity. Relax and release. Big gas. I don't even look at the astral anymore. Last download blew my mind. Yeah, it'll come of its own accord. It just naturally does. Hey, Thang. Hello from Vietnam. Are you from Australia? No, I'm not from Australia. Do I sound it? No, I don't know if that's an Australian accent. No, I'm from Wicked, Maine, up near Boston. In Massachusetts, in New England, Maine. I have cousins in Australia, though, in Adelaide. Lots of cousins down there on my dad's side. But welcome to, from Vietnam. This is a global thing today. Wow, this makes sense. But I think maybe slow to come for some of us. Ego can be stubborn. Yeah, okay, Ken, it's true. It can be a slow process. It is a slow process, generally speaking. One can suddenly jump to it and it could happen tomorrow, but generally speaking, it takes brain training. And this is not magic, okay? This is it's like anything else that you're learning to do. If you do Sudoku or you Wordle or any of these brain training things, this is a brain training process. And as the brain trains over time, these things naturally happen because of the base of the work that you do, the foundational work of the meditative focus practice. And then one day you can switch from your mantra. And that's what we should focus on today, switching from your mantra to using your physical body. This is a big step to move from discursive thought. Is that correct? Discursive thought? Linguistic thought. Let's say linguistic thought or imaginative thought to physical awareness. And I often use my breath for this. I listen, and I've talked about this a gazillion times. I listen to my breath. I feel my breath in my body. I begin with my mental focus of my chant. I switch to my breath. I switch to my body. And then I just stay in the awareness state. And when a thought comes into me, I don't shove it away. I let it pass by. I might take a look at it. I don't grab it. And it just the brain will not you learn how to do it. You learn how to do it. If you go to the gym and you get a weight, a person to train you in weights, and you start out with a 3-pounder, pretty soon you're up to a 4-pounder because it just naturally does that. You lift this 3 enough, so pretty soon you're at a 4. That's what happens. It's true that the body is illusion, Thang. That is Thang. That is so true. The body and everything is illusion. And I know that people, when they hear that it's an illusion, sometimes they're like, "Well, it's freaking real." It is real insofar as you're in the material body, but it is completely temporary. Completely, consciousness inhabits the body, and this mindfulness practice will get you there. Big Gaz, we're all astral atoms. All right. Yes, we are. All right. So we don't have a whole heck of a lot of time. I really do like to focus on getting out of here in 30 minutes because I know people have lives and people work and all that kind of stuff, although it's a holiday here in the States today. I'm trying to get my phone open so I can get to my timer. Still only going to meditate to 8:30 today, but keep on going. If you have the time, keep on going. I'm going to end it at the bottom of the hour, wherever you are in the world. So let's see what we have outside. Maybe we can use the sound. I'll pay attention to it. If a car goes by, I'll turn it down. Thanks, Ken, for the super chat. Thank you very much. All right. I'm going to leave my hands up here so I can control the sound. Oh, there's a car. Peace ahead of time. Thanks, Kristen. Peace to you, too. All right. My feet are flat. You can just, whatever the sounds are that come by, just listen to them. I'll keep them at a lower volume. Just listen to them. Begin with my mantra and my breath. Feet are flat, relaxed. I'm in an upright position. Begin to listen. Use your breath to help. Let the sounds pass by. Keep focused on your breath and the sounds. Now bring it inside and switch to the space at the top of your throat, at the back of your nasal channels. Just leave your mind there. Peace and love to you all.